Given what your poem was about, I think you might like my poem more than usual today. It also is about fear of being rejected for unusual interests.
She hands me her poem and I take it. It's standard Yuri, being so verbose I can hardly make heads or tails of it. There's only a single kitchen knife mentioned, which is nothing like what's in her collection. And how does the raccoon fit in? I think I'd know if she was into torturing animals or something. It has good use of words. Yuri giggles.
Thank you. Coming from you, that is high praise. I find it interesting how different our poems turned out, given that we essentially wrote about the same thing. Would you care to do it again, intentionally?
What do you mean?
We agreed to a topic and both write about it tonight. Then we compare the differences tomorrow. Would you like to do that with me?
Yeah, that sounds fun, actually. We can even compare those poems with these to see if they're more or less different. See if my superior writing style is starting to rub off on you at all. I can tell by her smile that Yuri knows I am joking with her. I have to watch that with her, though. Sometimes she doesn't.
Indeed. Since I suggested the experiment, how about you select the topic?
I think for it. The beach.
The beach? Very well, the beach it is then.
I collect my poem and start to leave. Yuri catches my arm before I can walk away, though.
I'm serious about Hallie. I won't get in the way, and I'm fully rooting for you two as well. You say you're getting mixed signals from him, but they seem pretty clear even to me, and I'm not good at social cues. Just confess to him. I'm certain he will return your affections. And if I am wrong, at least you won't be confused about him anymore.
But I'm not even certain how I feel. Yes, I think he's really cute, and we have a lot in common, but...
I can't know your exact emotions, but it's obvious to me you like him that way. Just go for it.
But how should I?
Well, I've never really... But maybe a poem?
I blush myself. Yeah, I guess I'm writing 2 of them tonight then. Yuri silently curves my hand to remind me one last time that she supports me, and then let's go.
Ah, so that's how they're going to get the love poem in there too.
I look towards Monica, who is the only one I haven't shared with yet. Monica shakes her head to tell me we don't have time to share again today.
Okay, everyone. We're all done reading each other's poems, right? I have something extra planned today, so if everyone could come sit at the front of the room.
Is this about the festival?
Well, sort of.
Do we really have to do something for the festival? It's not like we can put together anything good in just a few days. We'll just end up embarrassing ourselves instead of getting any new members.
That's a concern of mine as well. I don't really do well with last-minute preparations.
Don't worry so much. We're going to keep it simple, okay? We won't need much more than a few decorations. Sayori has been working on posters, and I've designed some pamphlets we can give out during the event.
Okay, that's great and all. But that doesn't tell us what we're actually going to be doing for the event.
Oh, sorry. I thought you heard about it already. We're going to be performing.
My stomach sinks. Performing? She can't be serious.
Monica.
Yeah, we're going to be having a poetry performance. Each of us are going to choose a poem to recite during the event. But the cool part is, we're also going to let anyone else come up and recite poems too. Sayori's putting it on all the posters in case anyone wants to prepare ahead of time.
Sayori, who's been coloring a poster, holds it up for us to see. Monica really is serious about us performing publicly. Are you kidding me, Monica? You didn't already start putting those posters up, did you?
Well, I did. Do you really think it's that bad of an idea?
I want to say yes, but honestly... Well, no. It's not a bad idea. But I didn't sign up for this, you know? There is no way I am going to be performing in front of a group of people like that.
I agree with Natsuki. I could never, in my life, do something like that.
Imagining it, Yuri shakes her head in fear.
Guys! No, Sayori. I understand where they're coming from. Remember that Natsuki and Yuri have never shared their poems with anyone until just a couple days ago. It's a lot to ask for them to recite their poems out loud to a whole room full of people. like that. So I'm sorry.
I just look at Monica. I know she's got something up her sleeve.
But I still think we should give it our best. We're the only ones responsible for the fate of this club. If we start the event and each put on a good performance, then it will inspire others to do the same. And the more people who perform, the better we'll be able to show everyone what literature is all about. Yeah, it's about expressing your feelings, being intimate with yourself, finding new horizons, and having fun. That's right. And it's those reasons that we're all in this club today. Don't you want to share that with others? To inspire them to find the same feelings that brought you here in the first place? I know you do. I know we all do. And if all it takes is standing in front of the room for 2 minutes and reciting a poem, and then I know you can do it.
So that's what she had, a pep talk. Admittedly, it was a pretty good pep talk, but it hasn't changed my mind. I don't say anything but glance towards Yuri, who I notice also appears unconvinced. Even Sayori begins to lose confidence seeing our combined opposition to Monica's plan. Just as I think we've won and I won't have to perform publicly, a voice breaks the silence.
I agree. I don't think it's too much to ask. I think that Sayori and Monica have been trying really hard to get new members. The least we can do is help them out a little bit.
Hallie had been so quiet until now, I admit I'd forgotten he was there. Well, maybe, but I think for a bit. Not only is it now 3 to 2 against, but he really seems to want to do this. As much as I don't like publicly performing, I don't want to disappoint him either. Oh, okay, fine. I guess I'll just have to get it over with.
All right. Phew. Thanks, Natsuki. What about you, Yuri?
Yuri glances around at everyone else's expectant faces and sighs.
I guess I don't really have a choice.
That's everyone! You're the best, Yuri!
This club is seriously going to be the death of me.
Oh gosh, you'll be fine, Yuri. But anyway, let's move on to the main event. I want each of you to choose a poem of yours. We're going to practice reciting them in front of each other.
What? Right now? No way!
Monica, this is too sudden.
Well, if you can't recite your poem in front of the club, how do you expect to do it in front of strangers?
Oh no.
Don't worry. I'll start off to help everyone feel a little more comfortable. Can I go next? Of course. Now, let's see.
Monica flips through her notebook to the specific poem she has in mind for herself. She then stands behind the podium.
The title of this poem is The Way They Fly. Ahem.
Monica begins reciting her poem. Her clear, confident voice fills the room. It's obvious that her time in the debate club is paying off for her right now. She doesn't mumble or stutter even once. It is a very impressive performance. Finally, Monica finishes her recitation. We all applaud. Monica takes a breath and smiles.
That was so good, Monica! Thank you very much. I was just hoping to set a good example. Are you ready to go next, Sayori?
I'll go next.
Yuri's fired up all of a sudden.
Yuri grabs a sheet of paper and stands up. Although obviously nervous, she walks quickly over to the podium.
This poem is called...
She has my sympathy as I watch her glance at us anxiously.
You can do it, Yuri.
It's called After Image of a Crimson Eye.
Yuri's voice shakes as she starts reading the poem. After the first couple of lines, she manages to somehow ignore where she is and begins speaking more clearly. I recognize this. It's the same thing she sometimes does when talking about a book she really likes. She forgets all about her social anxiety and her inner self, that is confident and not afraid of what others think of her, shines through. I've often thought that if she can learn to do this on command, that she'd be the most popular girl in school. All too soon she finishes and the magic is gone. You can see her anxiety crashing back into her. None of us are clapping, not because it was bad, but because it was simply that good. Even I, who am probably the most familiar with this side of her, am absolutely stunned. Hallie saves the situation by starting to clap. We give her the best standing ovation possible with only 4 people. Please, Yuri rushes back to her seat.
Yuri, that was really good. Thank you for sharing.
I look over at Yuri, who looks like she has used up every little bit of social bravery she has. I'm not too worried, though. I know she'll recover in a little while.
Okay, I guess I'm next then.
Sayori hops out of her chair and cheerfully walks to the podium. How she can do that without hesitation, I'll never know.
This one's called My Meadow. Sorry, I giggled.
I realize Sayori is actually way more nervous than she appears.
Sayori,
It's a lot harder than I thought. How did you guys do it so easily?
She's doing better than me, at least she's up there.
Try not to think of it like you're reciting to other people. Imagine you're reciting it to yourself, like in front of a mirror or in your own head. It's your poem, so it'll come out the best that way. I see. Okay then.
Sayori begins her poem. Like Yuri, Sayori's demeanor changes a bit as she continues to recite her poem. Part of her cheeriness falls away and she lets show a little bit of the sadness she hides deep within herself. I remember when she told me about her depression, she said that while she can often ignore it, it never goes away. It's easy to forget what she deals with until you see a glimpse of it like this. I hope she's remembering to take her meds. Sayori soon finishes and we applaud.
I did it!
good job, Sayori.
Even Holly liked it. I guess that's a good sign.
What does that even mean?
I certainly don't know.
It came out nicely, Sayori. The atmosphere of the poem fits you really nicely. But it might be that other poems wouldn't work quite as well with that kind of delivery. I don't really understand. In other words, I've seen poems of yours where that sort of gentle delivery wouldn't work as well. They might need a little more force behind them, depending on what you're reading. Oh, I know what you mean. Well, I've been practicing that kind of thing. It's just embarrassing to do in front of everyone. And then next time I'm going to make you pick a poem that challenges you a little more. We don't have much time before the festival, you know. Okay. Now, who's next? Natsuki.
I should have gone first, then I wouldn't know how high everyone else has set the bar. Don't make me go before Hallie. It's not like I can compare to you guys anyway. Might as well let Hallie lower everyone's standards a little before I have to do it. I know that isn't going to happen, but at least I'll be able to delay the humiliation for at least a little longer, at least.
Natsuki.
It's fine. I might as well get it over with. But it's not like I have much of a selection of what to read. I'll just have to go with what I wrote for today.
I cover my face with my hands in shame as he walks up to the podium. I'm aware that everyone here already knows what, or rather who, his poem is about, but I'm still really embarrassed that he's about to be reciting it out loud. I feel a comforting arm across my shoulders. Looking up, I see Yuri smile at me as she gives me a quick comforting hug. I sit up straight before Hallie turns around and hope my blush isn't too noticeable. It's obvious as he begins his poem that he's really nervous. Unlike Yuri and Sayori, though, it doesn't go away past the first couple of lines. There's a hesitation in his voice that says or stays with him even to the very end. I guess even he isn't perfect at everything. We all applaud him as he finishes.
Sorry, I'm not really as good as everyone else.
Don't worry about it so much. I think it's less about your abilities and more about your lack of confidence in your writing. That's something that will improve over time, though.
Yeah, maybe.
I wonder, though, is it really lack of confidence in his writing? Or lack of confidence in what he is or was saying?
All right, then. That just leaves you, Natsuki.
Yeah. I'm going. No more chances of postponing this. I selected a poem of mine that I wrote for an English assignment. It seems like a safe choice since it has no real personal meaning to me. I slowly get out of my seat and make my way to the podium. I remember hearing somewhere that a good way to not be nervous during public speaking is to picture the audience naked. The poem is called... Okay, whoever said that is an idiot, because I'm now more embarrassed about that mental image than I was about coming up here. I look away from everyone, especially Hallie. Why are you all looking at me?
Because you're presenting.
Monica speaking then reminds me of what she told Sayori about picturing yourself practicing in front of a mirror.
Oh, hey, look. I got it then right. Oh my god.
I hope it helps. Anyway, the poem is called Jump. I take a deep breath. As I begin, my nervousness quickly vanishes. I focus on the cadence of my words to try and make them sound like they are jumping higher and higher until they fly away like the character in my poem. I finish and everyone claps politely. Taking a breath of relief, I return to my seat.
That wasn't so bad, was it?
Easy for you to say. You'd better not make me do that again. Once was bad enough.
Oh, well. Do you at least feel prepared enough to recite a poem in front of other people?
So long as I picture myself instead of... doing it in front of other people will be way easier. I can put on whatever face I want for other people. But when it's just my friends, or at least Hallie, it's just embarrassing.
Well, that's a surprise, Natsuki. I think it'll be the other way around for me.
I'm a little surprised to hear this from her. I think she'd be good at keeping up a face in front of people. Well, that's just how it is, so...
Well, I guess in that case, you won't have much to worry about for the festival. That said, I want to thank everyone for coming through. It might be hard, but I hope that you all have an idea of what it's like now. Make sure you pick a poem and get enough practice before the festival, okay? I'll be making pamphlets, so let me know ahead of time what you'll be reciting.
Jeez. I should probably find some other poem to recite instead.
Please do.
That's fine too. It doesn't have to be your own. I'm already pleasantly surprised that you're putting in all this effort for the club. It makes me really happy.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, everyone. I think that's about it for today. I know the festival is coming up, but let's try to write poems for tomorrow as well. It's been working out really nicely so far, so I'd like to continue that. As for the festival, we'll finish planning tomorrow, and then we'll have the weekend to prepare. Monday's the big day. I can't wait.
I can do this. I can do this.
Alright.
Everyone stands up and begins collecting their things.
Ready to go, Sayori?
Yup. Look at you two always going home together like that. I kinda wish he'd walk me home, but... even if he wants to, I know it'd be a bad idea to let Papa see him.
It's kind of adorable, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Jeez, guys. Don't make such a big deal out of it.
It must be a little nice, though.
Well,
It's okay, Hallie. You don't have to say it.
whatever. Let's go already. Once the door closes... Natsuki.
Once the door closes behind Sayori and Hallie, Monica looks at us questioningly.
Are you two okay? I know yesterday you both got a bit upset with each other. Then after Yuri told me about your agreement while sharing poems, I read Hallie's poem. I'm hesitant to pry, but I don't want there to be any problems between anyone in the club. Had I known this would happen, I never would have tried to set Natsuki and Hallie up.
I support them.
I just look away. I feel horribly conflicted right now. Monica goes behind Yuri and gives her a hug.
Your time will come.
Oh,
Yuri is holding herself, rubbing her arms and shaking. Monica looks towards me.
I think you should go home now.
I'm really worried about Yuri and want to help her. But Yuri cries out as if in physical pain.
You need to go home now.
Monica practically picks me up and throws me out the door.
Run.
Monica's fear is contagious. I begin to sprint without looking back.
Okay.
I don't stop running until I burst into my house completely out of breath. As I walk towards the living room, I see Papa on the floor, bleeding. He had fallen and cut himself on the shards of the broken glass he'd thrown at me the other day. Papa! I have no way of moving him by myself. You have to get up, you're bleeding! I hear him groan as he begins to move.
You're here.
As he sits up, I'm relieved to see that none of his cuts appear to be too serious.
You should be with your friends.
The club meeting is over, and it's a good thing for you, too.
Is it?
Yes, and now you can stand up and get those cuts bandaged, or we both know I can't physically force him to do anything. I begin sobbing.
Suki, don't.
He slowly stands up. His legs are shaky. He's weak. He hasn't been eating again, probably why he fell in the first place. I guide him towards the kitchen where the nearest first aid kit is kept.